it's Nico Iona, and I am back again with another Pick a Card reading for your viewing enjoyment and your path to higher consciousness, of course. I have 3 cards here for you to choose from today. Not objects, not paintings, not tattoos. This time it's a literal Pick a Card reading. So this time I chose 3 cards that really personally resonate with me from the Shaman's Path message card deck by Dr. Stephen Farmer. This deck honestly had been a little bit intimidating for me because it goes pretty deep. But I shuffled through them earlier and I thought, wow, if those aren't trigger points, you know? So if you haven't done it before, how it works is you're going to pick one of the 3, the one that most resonates with you. All 3 of them could be for you. You could assign them as a cross-watcher for other people. Point being, just pick the one you're drawn to the most, which one you're most interested in, and that's probably going to be your reading or the one you resonate with the most. So I picked these 3, and there will be clickable timestamps both in the description box, the YouTube description box, and I'll pin it in the comments section as well. So there'll be some blue clicky ones if you want to skip straight to the reading. Otherwise, I'm going to go on and explain a little bit about each one to further some recognition or any little sparks that might fire in your mind to get you on the right path and watch your right reading. So the first one here is initiation. So if you're wondering about an event that took place in your life that changed the way you view reality, you view the world, that's going to be your pick. In the tarot community, they would definitely call this energy a tower moment, and that would equate to number 16, the blasted tower. So that's an event, and a lot of the time in Western civilization, that event will come through a traumatic event. That might be a serious terminal illness, loss of a loved one, an assault, an emotional assault even, you name it. Human suffering is relative. So that's, the wound is where the light enters. So a lot of the time that will be what would be referred to spiritually as an initiation, or like the urban call, if you will, because we don't really have a support system in this society, in this culture for something like this happening. But it's happening more and more since it's a huge time of great awakening. So that might, trigger for you. And we've gone through a big collective one recently in these last couple of years too, obviously. But that's the initiation card. And what else did I want to say about that? It's trauma, being wounded, having your complete perspective changed on how you view the world, how you view everything, or, AKA being woke, if you will, that experience. So if you're having questions about that experience, even if it was a long burn experience, sometimes it was an abrupt one for some people. It was for me. But it goes all over the board, and it all comes out in the wash. It's like questions about what changed my view on how I actually see the world, how I see the world as a whole, and I see myself as connected to it rather than just tunnel vision. So that's questions about this experience that you might have. Next would be afterlife. So first of all, I'm going to assign more of a tangible meaning to it and say, if it resonates with you that you're getting signs, synchronicities, dreams about somebody that might have crossed over, somebody that might have moved on that you feel that you're still energetically connected to, that you can still communicate with, that's going to be your reading. To go on a little bit of a deeper level, it's kind of like wondering if you're actually an eternal being and if this is actually the afterlife. So that would fall all under that topic too. Again, they can all 3 be for you because these are all, depending on where you are at in your journey, it's going to resonate on many levels or just a few. So there's the afterlife topic. So take it how you will, however it resonates, it's going to work because it's a huge energy net. It's connected. So third, last but not least, as I always say, is going to be the Kokopelli. This one's kind of a strange pick. I kind of hemmed and hawed with this last selection here. But I really like it because it looks like a hieroglyph, and it's also, I would really compare this energy to the energy in the tarot of the Ace of Wands. So it's like a creative force. A lot of the time that uses a lot of sexual energy too. It even says here on the back, human conception. Right, so it encompasses that too, but it's that fiery creative passion. So I'm going to categorize this one in questions for maybe a creative block or lack of motivation. And that's a big topic right now because of the change of seasons, and it's just, holy cow. I mean, I felt better going into town today because everything was slow. Everybody seemed to be in a sluggish mood, even the most upbeat of people. So and again, these readings are timeless, so it doesn't matter if it's November when you're watching this, but that's what time it is right now as I'm filming it. So that's a Kokopelli, kind of like a breakthrough for a creative block. So if you're looking for that. So again, we've got first category being like the tower moment, initiation, the wake up call, if you have questions about that experience, and maybe if you're looking for just to bring some light, shed some light upon some questions you might have about a situation you can't explain, that would be your category. Second would be that afterlife, tangible meaning being wanting to connect or feeling like you're connected with signs and synchronicities from people who have already passed on, or maybe people that you feel the presence of that you just know are soulmates on the other side. That's that one for the most part. And then, of course, dissolving creative blocks. So that's for the Kokopelli. So I'm going to get into the reading now. First one out the gate, we'll just keep them in order. I'm going to go for initiation. I've got a bunch of decks here at use. I kind of pulled some that I don't normally use. Kind of got some new ones out. So initiation, I kind of lied. This one isn't really new. This is my oldest deck. I don't use it in readings a whole bunch, but interestingly, this deck has a lot of energy on it from my own initiation, from my own time period when I saw the world as I knew it completely shift. So they're still pretty stiff, and it's my oldest deck, but it's where I first started to learn it. So what could be more appropriate than this deck for the initiation slot? I can't tell you, and that one jumped right out. Universe, yeah, okay, so the closed door thing. The universe closes a door. I don't know if you've ever heard the quote, rejection is God's protection. Yeah, see, the Wheel of Fortune. So what you think regarding this experience, what you think was the universe or God or however you want to term it, turning hers, the great ones, the great spirits back on you, was actually organized chaos. That's the Wheel of Fortune. Organized chaos in the long run for your great benefit. So that's a very umbrella statement about that whole experience. So we're going to dive a little deeper into that. Yeah, so possible disappointments in love, being let down by people who you thought you could trust with your life. That's one of the most common avenues to heartbreak. Yeah, unfairness, justice in reverse. There we go. So it's just sometimes in the midst of a complete meltdown, again with those universal closed doors, with just everybody turning their back on you, perhaps feeling very said no to. That's kind of that energy, but you need to keep in mind that set you free. That was the start of a new level of freedom, and that's the most important thing to keep in mind. Despite how unfair it felt, despite how just beside yourself you may have been about having people, be unadaptable to you, be nasty like a plantation wife, like smile in your face and organize your torture later. Like that's kind of the thing, just having people seriously let you down. And that's just something from these four cards that's just lingering in that energy field of that experience, no matter how long of a time period might have elapsed during that time. It's still hurt. And yeah, so it's like the choice between two paths with the lovers here. So it's it's one of those things where it's just like, do I hang on or do I let go of whatever experience brought you to this mind melt? And yeah, it's just like, it's demoralizing, right? The Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So it's almost like what's coming to mind is that Macaulay Culkin movie. Well, I think it was called The Good Son. And he was this evil demon's child. And I just remember this scene. And I think there was a similar movie, an older one, Sophie's Choice. I think it was the same concept. And basically, at the end of the movie, in The Good Son, she's dangling the demon child and the good one in each of her hands. And she's going to have to let go of one, right? So it's demoralizing. It's just like, it's like letting the death of the old you happen on this deep level with this initiation. And having to let go of, I don't even want to say you're letting go of the dark and saving the light. And I mean, I think in the movie she ends up letting Macaulay go. But that's kind of sugar-coated because it's like you got to integrate your demons too. So that's part of CES in the Last Judgment. It's just like you're at the pearly gates. You have to accept that you love both of them equally is the message there. You know, it's the mother didn't want to let either one go. Maybe it was to the point, now I'm going to have to look this up. Maybe one of them hit the other one. Now I'm going to have to look it up. But point being is there is no right choice. Because when it comes down to it, to matters of the heart, it's like you got to integrate your whole soul. The darkness and the light alike. So it's just like really, I mean, there's no winning. It's just like, you've got to go through the path no matter what. So it's like organized chaos through pain. The deepening of the roots allow the branches to go higher. So pretty blanket general message so far almost. Princess of Cups, yeah. Feeling emotionally blocked and dealing with some inner child wounds after that. Almost like, okay, I took 10 steps forward and now I feel it like a negative 20 because it's just, after going through so much and having so many downloads and so many experiences pass before you after an initiation period, you're very cut off from your emotions, which can make you feel very lonely, of course. So what else? Knight of Swords upside down. So right. So the drama, feeling like you were the source of so much drama and feeling guilt over that, and just knowing that you're no more guilty than anybody else. And it's just like, if you feel like just self-conscious with this Princess of Cups upside down and like the source of drama, it's not, remember when somebody tells you you're being dramatic or you're the problem or you're the issue, remember to take that through a filter and try to, again, integrate those memories and feel less guilt about it. So that's your message right now, is breaking down that guilt and recognizing that there's no fault. Even if you felt like you were the source of drama, it was just part of your path. And if you're watching this video right now, you're obviously concerned about it. So you're fine. You know, crazy people don't really think they're crazy. They just go on and be crazy. You know what I mean? So yeah. So it's like the card of the spiritual teacher. It's like coming grounded into yourself. You're the only witness that you need. If you feel that you did the best thing, that's all you can do. So it's okay. You're exactly where you need to be. And I really have a feeling that if you're watching this segment right now, you've come a very long way. And, you know, you earned it. Wow, that really just scooted right out. Yes. Trust the path, the eagle in reverse, right? It's just, again, looked like the doors were closed on you, looked like nobody was looking out, looking down upon that labyrinth and giving you directions, but they were. It looked like, you know, sort of like the cow in the slaughterhouse. It's just like you couldn't know everything or you wouldn't have gone through it. You would have just done nothing. You couldn't know what was coming around the corner, or else you wouldn't have kept walking. So that's one of the unfortunate conditions of being a human being, but it's chaos in your favor, because it's just sometimes we just have to be plunged into something, pushed into that pool, and that's how we reach the next leg of the journey. Collect things for the people who are still alive, right? So yeah. Number 15, which inadvertently, the wolf, blaze your own trail. What did I just say? Be your own witness. You're the only authority you need. If it means something to you and you know you've been a good person and you're staying true to your moral compass, you're good. But the interesting part, number 15 in the major arcana in the traditional tarot, is the devil. So again, there's a theme here with the integrating the shadow and the light. It's just like you want to be independent and strike out on your own. That's unfortunately at the core of every empath. There is a narcissist, like that yin and yang. We're very deeply connected. So it's just like you're your own trailblazer, but other people might see that as evil. You're the villain in somebody's story, no matter how good you try to be. So again, with the theme of relinquishing the guilt, that's your message on that initiation point. So let's pull one of these from this 52 cards deck to see if there's any other. So yeah, big theme of getting rid of guilt. 10 of Pentacles, stability, being in a rut, almost like the end of the line. Let's expand on that a little bit. I see what that's trying to say. Not being satisfied with yourself being the only witness. Right, but you see this card? There's a dark side and a light side to that. And just know that when you're feeling super extra down, there's going to be its opposite. They can call that bipolar all they want, but if you're a deep feeling being, you're going to stoop super low and you're going to go super high too. So that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Let's do one more. Out of here. I'm just going to pick one. It slid out for me. That must be the one. Right. Yes. Ace of Swords. I'm sorry. Ace of Diamonds. Ace of Pentacles, not swords. So use the tools at hand. Right. So it's just like when you're in that super low spot, when you're dwelling in here, know that this is going to keep turning. So it's just like, understand that if there's been a lot of lows experienced, there's going to be a payout. There's going to be a cash in. It's like the guy with the pickaxe just, I saw some meme where he's digging in this deep hole and there's this, of course, treasure chest or a gigantic diamond 2 inches below him. And he's just like giving up. And it's just the message of, okay, I mean, you don't really have a choice to give up because you're an eternal being, but the longer you give up, the longer you're going to be separated from turning back into this bliss right here. So it's just like you got to take it in stride and be your only witness and be the only one that needs to know about the progress that you've made, and anybody else recognizing that as just a bonus. It doesn't really matter. Right, we got the Ace of Pentacles. So using the tools at hand and just continuing going, keep going, even if you have to crawl. It's okay. I mean, you don't have to feel sorry for yourself. It's just like, if you went through something, just know that it was like a down payment. There's always a karmic energy balance that's going to come out in the end for you. So it's just, the message is to just be like, shed guilt, keep going, just keep Ace of Pentacling, keep Ace of Diamondsing, it's very important. It's just like, keep that spirit of manifestation alive in one foot in front of the other. So that is your message if you chose the initiation card. I'm going to move on to the next one here. All right, so if you chose the Afterlife card, I'm going to get real wild with this one and just... So the premise of this one is questions about the afterlife. Tangibly speaking, if someone might be giving you signs in the tangible world or through dreams, I'm going to go ahead and just shoot off the cuff here and just do a reading for that and not try to overthink it or dive too much into it, because this is kind of if it resonates with you, it resonates, and I'm just gonna go for it. This deck is an old Doreen Virtue deck, actually, and I chose this deck specifically for this reading because there's some photoshopped faces on here, which are currently of friends and family it's almost kind of like a homemade-ish. Let me find one that looks, I mean, yeah, it's like a painting with photoshopped faces. So right off the cup here is the Five of Gabriel, which would be the Five of Wands. So right, a challenge you can resolve. So believing the signs, I would say there right off the bat. Just it's just like rivalries of energies competing for your attention. When you think there's a sign coming in for you and you write it off because you have more important things to do. I would say intuitively that's a sign to just pay attention to the energies that mean the most to you, if you can, instead of writing them off as gibberish. That's the first message from the beyond there. And what else? So the Nine of Ariel in reverse. So yeah, just being worried about the independence or being worried about going off. Okay, I see. Worried about going off too far in left field and not subscribing to what other people would see as sane. And I can tell you right now, don't worry about that. It's all about your own language. And I just saw that Five of Gabriel there, which is like the rivalries, the energies competing for your attention, and just it's the Matrix calling. Just saying, no, you can't believe that. You don't get to have that spiritual experience. You have to stay here, stay in this tunnel vision. And it's just you can be awake if you want to be, and you can get as many messages as you want. So let's see. Yeah, don't worry about it. Nine of Swords in reverse. Don't worry about it. It's just confirming what I had to say there. So what else? All right. So we're done with the preface here. What do they have to say? Let's see. Oh, they love you. Don't worry about your love not being returned. Even if you feel like it's not, love is never wasted. It's just grief is love with no place to go. Is what that is. So it's just saying, don't worry about the love you put out. It's never a waste. That's really beautiful. That's the first thing. And Knight of Ariel. So yeah, it's just you're being watched over. It literally says you're being watched over by someone kind. So stay devoted. Take each little step. They're with you every step of the way. Even if you think it's just your mind or your imagination playing games or saying, "Oh, they're here. I know they're here." It's just when you get that feeling, trust it. Trust your body. If you get chills, if you get shivers, I mean, somebody is there. It's real. The spiritual realm is very real. If you're questioning that in any sense, it's just being watched over. So watching you right now. Maybe pay attention to the physical triggers around you right now, right in this very moment, and you'll know what I mean. So it's just saying, yeah, okay. It's like this emotional walking away and feeling like you're abandoning an ideology or it's again with this guilt theme. So like this Seven of Swords, like feeling like you're sneaking away or doing someone wrong by sneaking away or doing somebody wrong by walking away. And let me just tell you, like, here's the message from Spirit from these two cards. It's don't feel bad about doing what you need to do for yourself to walk away and move on. You can love people just as much as you ever did before and still do what's right for you. It's just, you cannot pour from an empty cup, basically. It's just like, they love you no matter what. They'll always be by your side. There's no wrongdoing in the spiritual realm. It's very much less judgmental is the message there. Right, so follow your heart. The Queen of the Empath, wait, or is it the Queen of no, trustworthy psychic. Yeah, so that's the Queen of Cups, Queen of Raphael. Trustworthy psychic information, right. So I'm not claiming to be this crazy psychic, but if this is resonating with you right now, trust that whatever synchronicities popped up during this reading are very trustworthy, and you can trust them and go ahead and note them in the log, and keep them on hand. Logic over emotion, sudden changes, the Knight of Michael, the Knight of Swords. So a lot of the time they label that as a drama card. Drama, but I'm going to say in this reading that's moving swiftly. It's okay to move swiftly, move forth. You're supported. You're supported in your dreams. Yes, exactly. Again, another Michael card or swords, the energy of air. So that's that Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy. It's rational, ambitious, respected. It's all about going forth and being confident in your logical mind and not worrying about the guilt of whatever emotions might be holding you back or grief. So it's somebody's reassurance to move on emotionally, even though your heart might be somewhere else. It's okay. A piece of you can be somewhere else and you can still be whole. It's all about the journey. We're all fragmented, and that's okay. So right. So follow your intuition and don't think too hard. So again, it's all of this up in your head energy. All of these swords, and then we've got a little bit of emotion. Not many pentacles in here. It's all about thought and emotion right now. And it's just about following your intuition again with the psychic insights. So it's just like, don't worry about other people's code or what other people are going to think is rational or logical or whatever. And, the Seven of Swords came in here, Seven of Michael, which also means it's okay to keep some things to yourself. You don't have to completely bare your soul when it's not to everyone's highest path. It's okay to be your own witness is the message there. So that's really good. Let me see with healing with the angels. Since it's afterlife, angels, connected. Let's see your final message here. Yeah, it's just move on, trust your intuition, trust your own codes, trust that language that you've created because it's real. You're the only witness needed for that language that you've and there's very much power in that. Power, standing in your power. No one else needs to recognize that power. That's your huge message. It's just power is power. All that it needs behind it is belief. And the only belief necessary is yours. I hope that strikes a chord. I really, really do. Because it's very real. It's very true. Friendship. So it's just like that deep bonded friendship. That's the most important thing in beautiful relationships. It's where everything starts. I don't care if it's a romantic one or a family one. It all starts with friendship. We all need that base of the pyramid. That's absolutely everything. Let's just do one final one. Retreat. So when you get some quiet time, especially correlating with this afterlife card, if you can take a walk in nature alone, if you can get in a meditative state, especially moving meditation, that's going to be when those signs are going to come in loud and clear, when you can have a completely non-resistant thought. So basically the absence of thought, letting thoughts come in and pass like clouds, is when you're going to see and be able to differentiate chatter and synchronicities and signs. So retreat however you can, whatever form you need to take to do that, even if it's 10 minutes, that's when you're going to get those signs and syncs from the afterlife, from that. And just know that communication is very, very real. And it's just saying that you're supported and there's no guilt to be had. So that's going to conclude the afterlife reading. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope that rung a bell. Okay, last reading, we got the Kokopelli. So the Kokopelli is all about fertility, kind of like the big fire dance, the rain dance, tribal dance around the fire. Dissolving a creative block. Seeing, I don't know what else could speak for dissolving a creative block in the Kokopelli. For Southwestern art, I really resonate with this one, this whole New Mexico, Colorado area with this kind of art. It was huge in the 90s. I feel like he's going to make a comeback. There's my psychic prediction for the year. The Kokopelli making a comeback. I'm yet to do a Kokopelli tattoo, too. So, here are the cards for this reading. And I completely stole these from my mother a while ago. They happen to be in her apartment, and they were kind of collecting dust on a shelf. And it's when I first moved back home to Colorado. And interestingly, I'm going to tell you something really interesting about this deck that's an amazing synchronicity for me, which is awesome for the Kokopelli reading too, because it was when I was starting my journey into being creative, and it was very scary. And these were kind of cool. They're very bright, and they're really fun. They're really cartoony. But the interesting part about this deck is that there is a flaw in here, and they double printed no other than the Five of Pentacles, which means being left out in the cold and rejection, right? And I would draw it constantly. It's an alligator with a star in its eye, and I promise you I'll flip out if I draw it right now, but I hope I don't, because I'm really sick of seeing that. There's 2 of them in here, and so I guess that makes it a 79 card deck. But here we go for the Kokopelli. How are we going to remove your creative blocks? First up, we got the Moon, which is secrets being illuminated. So sometimes that's the answer to a secret you already knew because it came out in the reverse. All right. So it's something that your mind already knew, but your heart wasn't accepting. That's a really good startup to that. So it's a process, So it's sometimes creative blocks are, you get put at a standstill because you have to deal with something that you haven't unpacked. And it's like, red alert, it's time to unpack that. You cannot move on until you figure yourself out and resolve that. The Lovers. Lovers. Okay, traditional meaning being choice between 2 paths. Admitting your true feelings to yourself, I want to say, with the combination of the Moon here in reverse. So it's just like, don't fake a connection out of convenience or out of instant gratification is what I'm getting right there off the cuff. It's just sort of like, the heart wants what the heart wants, and you're not going to be able to lie to yourself about that. So, and that goes for creative projects too, because that's sexual energy as well with the Lovers. So it's like, if you're not feeling something and you're just, it feels forced, you have to figure out how to switch that up into a different perception or a different light, or switch the project or switch the theme, because it's just like, you're not admitting your true feelings to yourself about that passion. I hope that makes sense, but that's a big deal. That's like, if it feels forced, and again, okay, I didn't even read that one yet, the 5 of Wands in reverse. So it's like, stop fighting with yourself. Stop fighting with yourself about your true feelings. That's where that man, holy cow. That's pretty deep. Stop fighting with yourself about your true feelings. If you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. Just like you can't fake an attraction. Like, say somebody's really nice and you want to be attracted to them really badly, but it's just not happening. It's the same thing with creative projects too, with the Kokopelli here. If you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. You have to switch it up. And the nice thing is that with a creative project, you do have the power to do that. And I have good news for you, because that's connected with everything else. If you're obsessing about your love life, which would be the literal meaning of all of this, investing into the creative passion and being honest with yourself about what you're passionate and creative about, whether it be art, music, any form of art, any form of anything. I mean, I don't care if you're an accountant and you love it. If it lights you up and it makes you feel alive, that's what you need to be doing. So it's just, I know that sounds really simple and cliche, but it's just like, the message here is to stop lying with yourself and stop fighting with your inner being about what actually makes you happy. It might even have to do with a person here, not to make this a love reading, but it's just like, you're lying to yourself about what you really want. That's foolishness. It just can be. So 3 of Swords, heartbreak. Is just like, okay, so afraid of the heartbreak of, so that's why we pick the safe route a lot of the time. It's just like, okay, so maybe I can't get that dream job, so I'm just going to go and be a porta potty attendant. That's an extreme example, but it's just like, No, I mean, would you rather go for it and have a broken heart, or just have a broken heart instantly? It's like the DUI thing. It's just like, do you want to lose your license for a year automatically, or do you want to roll the dice and see how drunk you are? I don't know. So it's just like, you'll lose or win either way. And there's the Five of Pentacles. There's one of those, see, rejection and moving on. So it's just like, okay, I have a big message for you right now if you had a creative block. It's like, if something lit you up inside and it made you feel good, but you felt rejected about it, so you had this turn off. And I actually have a tangible example right now. So I live in a really small place, and there's not many places to go and eat or go and hang out or anything. And I realized today, and it depressed me so much, that I went through all the places in my head, and I was driving by places, and I just wanted to go and take myself out to dinner, right? And every single place had some kind of negative connotation right away in my mind. And I caught myself, because it was just like, wow, you're setting yourself up to be negative about any place. It's just like, no, that person might be there, or I have that bad memory from that one time, or I used to work there and I had a bad night there, and people are such dicks, and I hate everyone, and I'm just going to go home. And you know what? It's just like, that's a self-defeating thing. And I'm going to take it full circle and bring it right back to a creative project. It's just like, it's your choice whether or not to drive yourself away from something, okay? So it's like, oh, I got rejected and I had to move on, and I'm afraid of my heart being broken because I feel very strongly about this, very, very passionately. So that's why I have all of these butthurt feelings. Heartbreak, moving on, rejection, being left out in the cold. But stop fighting with yourself, because it's just like, if it scares you, you need to do it. 10 of Wands. You feel like it's a burden. But look, the things that feel like the biggest burdens sometimes are the things that you love the most. And they're the things that scare you the most. So be the magician. Employ everything instead of be a victim to it. Create your own constellations. Don't look up at them and ask them what to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's kind of like a take action and run toward what scares you with all your might is the message there. That's beautiful. I'm really satisfied with that message. What else? I swear something turned over. Did it not? What's on the bottom of the deck? The Otter in reverse. Yeah, so it's just like that, right, in the Salmon. I guess in reverse facing me, but it's like, you know the way home. You instinctually understand what lights you up in regard to this reading. It's just, your heart knows. Stop trying to stifle it down and fight with yourself and not feel it. It's like the epidemic of toxic masculinity almost. It's like that energy. It's just blocking myself off from stuff because I can't feel or I can't look weak. At your own disposal. It's just like, take what is burning inside of you and harness that, or let what is burning inside you burn you down and destroy you. It's just like, again, to loop back, it's like that choice between two paths. It's just go with it or fight it, and it's still there. So it's kind of a question, if you pick this Kokopelli, whether to embrace that passion or to turn your back on it and ignore it. And not get through the rough times, and then go and, go take your porta potty attendant job or whatever, it's just go be miserable. And, we all have periods of that, but you don't have to hold that in the long-term energy. Just like the heartbreak card, it's a very real energy that everyone has to experience, but it's not a long-term energy to maintain. You have to be able to experience it and then compartmentalize in a sense, and then keep moving forward. So it's like, you fell off the horse, you got to get back on it. And for your bonus Oracle message card, I've got Archangel Gabriel, because he is the messenger of creative projects. So here we go. Creative projects for the Archangel Gabriel's media. You can reach more people by working with video, audio, print, and other online media. So I hate to say it, but I'm a big. I hate Instagram. I hate Facebook in a sense, but I love it because it's given me business. It's kept me connected to people who I would never stay connected with ever, and that's probably how I'm talking to you right now. So it's just like embrace the monster, right? And embrace the metaverse. It's just like just don't let it eat you. Use it for positive creative means and to connect to people. Use it in a productive way instead of a destructive way. And that's a huge message. I'm a big believer in that. It's just like social media is not bad. It's it's how you internalize it that can be bad. So it's just like make sure your diet is healthy, and I'm not just talking food. I'm talking like music, the people you hang out with, your mindset. And that's what's going to captain the ship on how you manage social media stuff. It doesn't matter. It's just like it is a tool like any other. Use it right and dive into that creative project and keep going. It doesn't matter. You just have to take one foot and put it in front of the other. So that's your message. Kokopelli, what a beautiful reading. Very happy with that. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day, night, or whatever timeless time you're watching this in divine timing. Good night, and thank you.